What's good, y'all? It's Solution back at it with another YouTube video, and I'm continuing my mental gym series where I give you guys the skills that you need to become extremely successful and achieve all the goals and all your dreams and all your ambitions and everything like that. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, today, speaking of skills that I just talked about, speaking of skills, I'm going to teach you guys about skills or the framework that I've come up with my homie about skills and why it is obviously extremely important to you achieving all the goals that you want to be able to achieve, right? So here is the definition that I've come up with or we've come up with. So skills, actions that help you achieve your goals. Literally just that simple. Actions that help you achieve your goals. For example, your ability to walk is a skill that helps you achieve your goals. Because if you weren't able to walk, you wouldn't be able to get somewhere to do something that would help you achieve your goals, right? So that's an example of a skill that you have that is currently helping you achieve your goals. Hopefully, if you're watching this and you're able to walk. So you could also replace this with talking, speaking, listening, skills, right? The actions that you can use. And also, I just want to give a disclaimer that I haven't given in the previous mental gym videos that I've made, that all of the definitions I give for the frameworks that I am teaching you guys come from the idea and the singular concept of you guys becoming successful in achieving your goals. Because obviously, if you go search up skills or skill definition on Google, it's not going to say actions that help you achieve your goals, right? Because it's a general definition of things. But on this channel, we is not talking about generality. You are here because you want to achieve your goals and become extremely successful. So everything I say and teach or whatever is in the frame of mind and context that is what you want. You want to be successful, you want to achieve your goals, right? So that is why all of my definitions, if you see my other previous videos, which you should definitely check out, that could help you out, they're in the frame of mind that you want to achieve your goals. So that's why the definitions look like that. If anybody was wondering or curious or whatever. So anyway, let's get back to the task at hand today. So basically, skills are actions that help you achieve your goals. And like I just said now, that could be walking, reading, writing, listening, anything that helps you can use that helps you achieve your goals is a skill, right? So with that being said though, what you're probably already thinking is like, okay, cool, Solution. You told me about skills and reading, writing, and whatever, but what is the point? The point is, what you guys really want is learning skills, right? Because in order to use a skill, you have to do what? You have to learn it first, right? You can't just have a skill. You didn't come out of the womb being able to walk, talk, read, and write, right? You learned it. You just obviously you're just so used to having the skill now, you just don't even care. But because you learned that skill, you're able to watch this video right now, for example. So, but you were able to learn it, and without learning it, you wouldn't have been able to get this far. So what today's main thing is actually about today is learning skills. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood the definition that I pretty much came up with. So basically, yeah, so today I'm just gonna teach you guys how to learn skills, and it's actually simpler than you think, or I would assume. But I guess in a way, nothing is simple because, anyway, you get the point. So basically, learning skills, right? So what is the first thing you need to do when learning a skill? The very first thing. So one. Ooh, Marker, what is you doing? Okay, y'all should be able to see that. So what is the first thing you need to do when learning a skill? You must seek knowledge. Knowledge. So know. Meaning the only way anyone can learn any skill ever is because they have known something about it. For example, if you were a really young child and you have never seen somebody write before, you've never seen it, heard it, even thought about it, and somebody came up to you and said, write, you would look at them like, because exactly, you don't know what writing is. You don't know what it looks like, let alone how would you be able to write it or show someone that you could do it. You don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. So what that shows is, in order to learn any skill, and all the skills that we all currently have, the only way we were able to do it is because we knew something. So the first step to learning any skill is to know. You have to know something. So then how do we know? Right? How do we know what we need to know? We have to seek it. So it's more like, I'm gonna say it, put it right here. So it's more seek knowledge. In fact, nah, I'm gonna erase it so that it's better for you guys to understand. So hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. But yeah, so you want to make sure you seek to know. You have to go find the knowledge, right? In order to be able to start learning the skill, right? So how do you do that? Well, you want knowledge about something, you have to go to someone who knows something about it. That is the only way you are going to learn the thing that you want to learn. But an important thing here is to go back to my first framework that I've dropped, the value circle. And with the value circle, summed up really fast, is just people who can help you achieve your goals or know things that can help you achieve your goals. That's the more direct version, because there's also ways people can help you, but they might not know something you need to know. But go watch that video so you understand what I'm saying. But the point is, you go to someone in your value circle, somebody who has information on what you want to learn. And this person can be in the form of having achieved the skill that you want, or somebody who wants the same skill as you, so they've maybe gained knowledge that you don't have at the current moment, or someone who both has the skill that you want and you can go just work with them. You know, like let's say a teacher knows about math, you can go work with that teacher and then they could teach you math because they already have the skill. So they could help you like more actively. Or if you don't have access to that, you have access to what? YouTube. You can come on YouTube, like you come to me, Solution. Oh, Solution knows about how to make frameworks, about how people can become successful. So let me go to him so I can learn from him. So I can get the skills about discipline, value circle skills, stuff like that, right? So basically you need to just go to someone somewhere with information that they can give you about the skill you were trying to learn about, right? So you go then to seek to know, right? So what happens when you go and seek and know, right? You go seek the person out and you ask them, hey, I'm trying to learn this skill. Can you show me or teach me? So they will show you, teach you, draw a picture, whatever they need to do. They will show you what you need to do, right? They will give you the information that you are looking for. Like let's say you go to them and they're like, okay, you come to them because you want to learn how to draw a square, and they know how to draw a square. You go to them and they're like, okay, this is how you draw a square. So they're like, okay, here's one line on the side, one line on the bottom, one line on the other side, and then a side on top, and then make sure you have the lines connect. And then that is how you draw a square. So they just showed you how to draw a square. You're like, okay, cool. So now with your new found knowledge, you can move on to step 2, which is test the know. So now you went to seek to know. Now that you know, you must test the know. You went to the person who knows how to draw a square. They have drawn the square and shown you this is how you draw a square. Draw a line here, line up here, line here, boom, you have your square. And then you're like, okay, bet. And now you have to test the knowledge because they give it to you. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna draw the square, right? You're like, okay, I think he said something about a line, and then a line here, and then a line here, and then a line here. So obviously, if you guys should be able to see this. The square here looks different from the square here, right? But you're like, okay, that looks wrong. That does not look the same as the person who taught me about how to draw the square, right? And what does this mean? We actually move into step 3 of this process, right? And step 3 of this process is, just move that. Step 3 of this process is actually a rotating one, right? So either you do 2 things. Practice plus feedback. Yeah. So now that you have sought the knowledge, you've gained it from the person, you now test the knowledge is now being tested, you have an outcome. Some form of outcome will occur once you test the knowledge. You've taken the action of testing it. Once that has occurred, Something will happen. As you've seen here, you went to the person, they showed you how to draw the square, you went and tried to draw the square, this looks like an ugly ass square, please. Anyway, this is an ugly ass square, you have the square here, and you're like, that doesn't really look like the other person's square. And this is where I can actually get into a side caveat. You see, when it comes to skills or having a skill, it's not, do I have the skill, do I not have the skill? It's at what level do I have the skill? Because let's say you're good at basketball, whatever level of basketball you're at. Let's say you're playing rec basketball and you're good at shooting threes, or you shoot threes and you can do it. Well, Steph Curry, a famous basketball player, if you guys don't know him, who's really good at shooting threes, and he's professional. Steph Curry, super wet, pause. So anyway, Steph Curry, for example, he can shoot threes, right? And he's doing it in the NBA against the best players ever, like literally shooting in their mouth, right? Literally. Oh, well, I don't know why I said literally, but shooting in their face, right? And he's scoring like crazy. So do you think you as a rec basketball player who is shooting threes has the same level of shooting threes as Steph Curry? No. Why? Because Steph Curry has practiced shooting three-pointers for such an extreme amount of time under extreme circumstances that he has become so good at shooting threes. Right? Even though you guys both might have the same skill, the depth at which Steph Curry has of the skill is so much higher than yours. The depth at which I'm able to, the person who taught you how to draw a square, is the depth of skill that they have at this compared to what yours is when you first try it out is so much different because the volume and depth of the skill that they have is different. And the only way we can increase the level of skill that we have at something is practice. You have to practice. Because you are not going to go to someone, they're going to tell you this is how you do the skill, and then you're going to turn around tomorrow and have the skill at the same level as the person who taught you. Because they had to practice in order to gain the skill and have the skill at that level, right? Right? Yeah, right. So hopefully you just said right on the other side of the screen, right? So you need to make sure once you have seeked the knowledge, you've gained the knowledge, you then go test it. You know, obviously you have to test it. And you're like, even if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to look like, you then move into stage 3, which is practice plus feedback. Because obviously you can practice something, but you also want to make sure you're practicing the right way in order to get the skill the way you want it. Because you can actually practice the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like you can practice in a way that is not conducive to the actual skill that you want. And that's why feedback is also really important. Because also, while you're practicing a skill, you could get stuck. You could get stuck. You can't make the breakthrough. You can't shoot the 3 the way you want to. So you need to go to someone, then you go back here to seek knowledge. Again, you see how you're going to see how this 3-step process here, this 3-step framework, it goes up and down. You know, you're practicing, you get feedback, you're practicing, and feedback basically leads back to here, right? Feedback leads back to here, seek knowledge, test knowledge, practice, and then feedback up here. And then you keep going through this cycle until you get the skill the way you need it. Meaning you get the skill at the level you want it to be. Because like I just said earlier, skills is not, do I have the skill, do I not? It's at what level do I need to have the skill in order to do what? Achieve your goals. Because if you want to be the best 3-point shooter in the world or in the NBA, right? You can't just be a 3-point shooter in a rec league, right? And the only way you can be a 3-point shooter in the NBA is to have the skill level of one. Not just be able to shoot a 3, but at the level of which NBA players do it, which is your goal. If that was your goal, for example. And like I said, you can apply this to anything. Any goal you are trying to achieve, you can apply this to anything. And that's what I love about these frameworks. You can apply this to any goal you're trying to achieve. If you want to be an eye surgeon, right? Same thing. You go seek knowledge about being an eye surgeon. You test the knowledge, and then you practice, which is crazy. People have to practice on patients. But you practice being an eye surgeon. And then if you're not being an eye surgeon at the level that you want to be at, then you're practicing and you're getting feedback. So you're practicing, you're like, okay, I'm stuck here, let me get some feedback. So if I want feedback, I gotta go seek the knowledge, test the knowledge, practice, and I keep going in this cycle till you get the skill at the level that you want. So going back here to make it simple, once again, for the square example, let's say you want to learn how to draw a square. You go seek the knowledge from somebody. I show you how to, and let's say it's me, I showed you how to draw the square. You're like, okay, bet, he showed me. I tested the knowledge. My square is ugly as hell. I'm like, wow, that sucks. So now what do I have to do? I have to go start practicing drawing a square. So I keep practicing it until it looks like this square that he made. And if I get stuck anywhere in my square, I practiced for a bunch of times and my square still doesn't look like this, I go get feedback from me again, and I tell you, oh, you need to make sure your line is like this when you're practicing it. Make sure you're practicing this line specifically until it looks like this. And then you're like, okay, bet. You test that knowledge and practice again, and you keep going in the cycle. So that is pretty much how to learn a skill, guys. If you want to be able to learn a skill that will help you achieve your goals, this is what you need to do. Pretty much nice, short, and simple. Make sure you save it, clip it, write it down, put notes on it, whatever way you need to do it in order to make sure you remember this. Whatever way you need to do it to make sure you remember this. Because this simple framework can apply to any goal that you are after. Literally, the goal of learning a skill in itself goes through this framework. Isn't that so lit? And that's the beauty of the Mental Gym and these frameworks and why it will help you become so successful. So yeah. Also, one thing, really important thing that I want to make sure to add to make sure you guys understand. So what I went over in the discipline framework, please go check out that video like any of the other Mental Gym videos that I've made. Go check that out. Basically, if you want to learn a skill, you actually have to want the skill. Because like I said, achieving or attaining a skill is a goal in itself, right? So what did I talk about when it came to goals in the discipline? I'll briefly tell you it here just so you guys remember. When it comes to achieving a goal, guys, you have to want the goal. And I'm in the business of making sure you guys make it basically impossible that you don't achieve your goals, because also important thing is you guys, we can't control outcomes. We can only do everything we are supposed to do. Because you could do everything you are supposed to do and a bomb could just drop on your house or something and then boom. You're like, well, was I not good enough? Obviously, that has nothing to do with it. You did everything you were supposed to be doing. You did everything that was in your control, right? Cool. So when it comes to achieving your goals, guys, you need to make sure you actually want the outcome. You need to make sure you actually want the outcome. And what I mean by this is there needs to be pain. You need to suffer if you're not achieving the goal. That is the only way you can guarantee you do the actions. Because what a lot of people do is they say they want goals, but when you look at them, you're like, bro, why haven't you done anything? The main reason why if I'm talking specifically to you right now, the main reason why you haven't done anything is because you don't really want the skill. You don't really want the goal. You don't really want the success. You don't really want the things. I know you've probably heard many times, oh, you gotta want it. But what basically people are trying to say when they say that is that you need to feel in extreme pain if you're not achieving your goal or doing what you're supposed to be doing or gaining the skills you need to gain. Because it's from that discipline that is driven from that deep insecurity or pain that you have that you will be able to take the steps to seek the knowledge, test the knowledge, practice it, get feedback over and over again until you actually achieve the goal that you were after. So yeah, that's my little rant about that. I just want to make sure you guys realize that, because with all of these frameworks, you can be given everything you need to achieve a goal, but if you do not have the pain or extreme depth of wanting and strong ass desire to achieve your goal, I promise you, even if you are literally basically spoon-fed, you still will not achieve your goals. So cool. Hope you guys like the vid. Skills are really lit, really important to achieving goals, obviously, right? So make sure you guys like the video. I really want to get this boosted in the algorithm so many guys can take in these frameworks, use them, because honestly, out here when it comes to success, you have so many people talking about success that it's really confusing. But once you just have these simple frameworks, you're like, okay, this is this is that. Life becomes really easy. Accomplishing goals becomes really easy. You just become really lit, and it's just really great. So make sure to like the video, and of course subscribe, but like the video, get it in the algorithm, and of course I'll be back at it again with another video to teach you guys a beautiful ass framework. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Peace.